I'm so glad that you brought up that image, known as the pale blue dot image. To my mind, that's actually, astronomy is known for having beautiful images of the universe with, mind-blowingly beautiful colors and shapes and all of these things. And at first blush, this pale blue dot image may seem kind of like, eh, but I actually think it's the most beautiful and the most profound image ever in the history of astronomy. And it's actually really interesting. So this image, you may know, Vanya, was taken by one of the Voyager satellites on their way out through the solar system. And Carl Sagan had to try to convince NASA to take this image. And it was not an easy job because every time you do something in space with a satellite, it uses resources and they're finite resources. And so to have the satellite, turn and take a picture of Earth was going to use resources that they weren't sure they wanted to use, and for no viable scientific reason. Or there's no science that was going to be learned from this image. But Carl Sagan made the point, and I think he was quite right, that we as humans needed this image to see and get a sense of our place in the universe. And so, if you have the chance, for anyone who doesn't have the image, please go look it up online and please read Carl Sagan's description of this image, which uh, I actually wish every human on the earth would look at this image and read the description of the image. And I can't do justice to it in the way that Carl Sagan would, but he describes how on this tiny mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam, right? Everyone you've ever known, everyone you've ever loved, every killer, every saint, every king, every battle has taken place on that dot. And he makes the case that, all of the terrible things we're doing are to fight over tiny fractions of a pixel of this dot. And it just puts in real visceral perspective, right? We're all in this together on this tiny little mote of dust in a sunbeam. And let's think about what that means, and let's think about what that means for the future of humanity, because I really do believe as humans, we are in this together for the long haul. Um, and I think if more people had that perspective and the perspective of what it means for us to be on this tiny little pale blue dot, trying to do the best we can, I have to believe that so much of the strife and the conflict, um, and the arrogance that we see in the world would melt away, and that the future of humanity would be better for it.